What up? Long time no see. I've been prepping for Japan, and that's what we're gonna do in today's video. We're gonna sell, or hopefully sell, the last missing piece to my trip to Japan that's happening in 2 weeks. These are my favorite type of videos to make because this usually indicates that the build is done, road trip complete. As you guys know, we successfully drove this car 35 hours from New York to Atlanta and back with absolutely no hiccups. And if you guys follow the series, not only did we have no hiccups, though, we drove through a tornado and a snowstorm. So this is going to be one of those one-on-one conversation videos where I'm going to let you guys know why I think this car is worth $7,000. Some people in the comments are going to say, no, this car is worth $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 or no one should buy it because it's not safe. Whatever the case may be, I still love it because I enjoy the troll. I actually posted this up on the Facebook group and someone commented that it was worth $4,000, where it's like, cool, you know, the beauty of selling cars is that it's worth whatever you think it's worth. If someone thinks this is worth $2,000, fine. Like, I can't stop them and really convince them, like, no, actually it's worth $10,000. Like, no, I can't do that. A perfect example is my Daihatsu Mira walkthrough. I would not sell this car. Strike me dead right now from above, God. I swear to God, if someone came to my house right this second, $35,000 right in this hand, I would not take it. And that would be the most money I've ever had at one point in my entire life. But I wouldn't take it because for me, I know this car is not worth $30,000, obviously, right? It's not worth $35,000. Like, I'm just, newsflash, everyone, not worth $35,000. But I do think it's worth more than that just because of the story behind it. And you guys know how much I love a good story. So this car to me is worth even more because I spent $2,000 getting this window cut off. I sold my white Mira walkthrough to Brad Peters in South Carolina. So I had a really nice one. I ended up getting rid of that one because I found a turbo Mira walkthrough. And not only is it turbo, but it also has the Miragino front end, which is a one of one. It doesn't stop there, though. Not only does it have a Miragino front end, but it has a Miragino rear end with this bumper. You guys have seen a bunch of Mira walkthroughs, maybe. You will never see one with this. Just this. Forget my taillights, but just this. Then we got the Defender taillight. Shout out to Dad by Garage. Backup camera. On top of that, we got the custom box on that side with the speakers. Custom box on that side. We also have a custom dash from Mira. We got the shifter here, the TRXX seat. We got the WayBeforeTheFame steering wheel, double din, turbo, white diamond stitch headliner. This car is worth more to me than $35,000. And the main reason I feel that way is that when I eventually do a road trip from here to Miami to Dallas to hopefully like LA to Seattle, whatever the case may be, I think driving and doing pop-up shops selling merchandise like everything you see here. I still got a bunch of Suzuki Alto work gotchas. We got pins, we got keychains, we got magnets, we have jackets that my Patreon homies are going to learn more about. So in my opinion, selling all of this and pins and Hot Wheels and flares and Hello Kitty ETC readers and random just things and plates, to me, selling all of this out of my Mira walkthrough will make me more than $35,000. And just imagine all the people I'm going to meet throughout that road trip, all the new faces, all the new fans, all the new subscribers. To me, that's worth more than $35,000. But enough Mira walkthrough talk. Now let's talk about my $7,000 Suzuki Alto Works CR22S front wheel drive turbo 5-speed. Let's do a 360. I'll point out some of the pros, some of the cons. I think, you know, in my personal opinion, I saw some people saying that, you know, they wish that the paint wasn't faded. I, to this day, think the paint is the best part. The paint is what really sold me on this car. I would not wrap this. I would not paint this. For that, it's just like buy a normal Alto. If you're worried about stuff like this, or the fact that it has lines here, or the fact that it has, like, you know, little rust spot there, you know, the natural patina. You see how it goes from like a lavender to then straight up pink. Same with the roof. If that's what you're worried about, then this obviously isn't the car for you. But I think that this natural pink patina is by far like the coolest thing that this car has to offer. Like, that's just number one. For me, the paint is what really sold me. It's one thing to have a car that you wrapped pink, or maybe you painted pink, but this is a color that can't be replicated. Like, you can't get this same style pink with this natural patina. This is like, you know, a decade of it just sitting somewhere where it has these random lines and the overspray and just the way it fits perfectly. Look at this front end right here. Like, someone might find that ugly. I love it. But exterior wise, let's point out some flaws. So we got this, you know, overspray. Someone's gonna say that. Their fenders are rolled. Kind of had rust there already. This is cracked. This just needs to actually go into place. All right, so that's good. There's actually no real flaws except that. I mean, these are rolled also. I wouldn't call that a flaw, but depending on who you ask, that's a flaw. Oh, this is a flaw. I really should just buy this on MegaZip, honestly. If it doesn't sell, I'm just going to buy this on MegaZip. But, I mean, I don't know if people would consider this a flaw, but it has like these bubbles. Feels like pimples almost across the whole rear bumper. I'm not sure where that's from, but I guess if you want to call that a flaw. Some paint chips. And that's pretty much it. I mean, all here is pretty perfect. Oh, up here. It doesn't have an antenna, but I actually might have one inside, so you can't listen to the radio, but it has Bluetooth in. I put CarPlay and everything. Oh, the wipers. After the Acti, shout out to Gio. I should have definitely painted those, but I mean, I can still do it. But yeah, that's the exterior. That's the 360 of that. Now let's talk about the wheels. This is a huge indicator on why this car is worth $7,000. So it has Advent A3As with center caps. So these wheels being 13x6 with literally brand new tires alone are easily worth $1,000. Like, easily. Like, I could sell these wheels without even trying for $1,000. I know 2 of them are red, which you can see on camera. And then this side is pink. But more than likely, if someone bought this, they'll probably get them powder coated, get them refinished. I think, again, that's a huge selling point because they're all the same size, they're all the same width and everything. But it's cool just having 2 pink wheels on one side and then 2 like cherry red wheels on the other. I guess you could also say this is a flaw. I was gonna buy new ones from Japan, but I was like, I could probably just paint them or even wrap them if I want to. Some more on the exterior. It doesn't have a rear wiper arm. It has this cool pink dye, which again is a huge selling point. It has 20% tint all around, except the windshield. I did absolutely nothing on the windshield. That's a little too hot boy for me. But it's pretty good. It's not dark enough where I think it's illegal, because you could obviously still see my seat and everything. But it's dark enough at night where you kind of have to squint, and then you could obviously see out the windows with no problem. I think I'm going to start doing 20% all around on everything. In the mirror walk, though, I got 35%. You can still see a lot, though. And then I got 70 on the windshield. Ceramic tint, just because I knew I was going to keep this car forever. Also, let's do a quick little pause. So not only is this car pretty cool, and not only is it very controversial, and not only is it pink, and not only does it have very expensive wheels and HKS parts, and I just drove a 35-hour road trip, but shout out to this news article, company, magazine, I'm not sure exactly. I didn't really know about them until they actually posted about my old Minica, saying it was like the stupidest car ever. But someone actually in New York posted about the Alto, saying how it was an amazing car, and this is the car that you should buy. So shout out to them. Not only do I think it's cool, but it's cool when like other media outlets can also acknowledge the pink lemonade. Before we get into the interior though, let me turn on all the lights. So we have LEDs all around, LED fog lights, and reverse light. It's pretty bright out to tell. I'll post a picture from when it was 3 a.m. in Times Square. But everything works. Both those lights work. If you guys remember from the Teggy video, I had to replace the LED bulb just because it got super ugly. So if I turn off the fogs, you'll see that these are on. So both of them are back on, which is good. That was kind of one of the only issues. And then I believe my oil leak is pretty much gone too. Yeah. I think I just had to tighten my filter. Maybe I'll drive it and see. But I drove it in here. I think my oil leak is also gone. And then also my idle issue is gone. I'll start the car, obviously. I think another big pro from buying a car for me, which is what I really love about my channel, what I do is, well, I don't really consider myself an importer because I don't buy cars to sell them instantly. Like, there's certain situations where I might really need the money, or I've had the car ready. Like the blue cappuccino, we didn't really make too much content on, but I had the red cappuccino for like a year. So I already like exhausted my options on what I can do to a cappuccino. But basically the point I'm trying to make is I just took this car on a 35-mile road trip. I drove it all the way to Atlanta, everything in between and back. And now I do that to basically show the next owner, like, yes, this is still a 31-year-old car. No, it isn't the most reliable car, but I want to let you know that I'm willing to potentially blow up my Alto just so I can show the next person that says, oh, this car is only worth $3,000, or, oh, is it reliable? Like, I just took it on a 35-mile road trip. Could it technically blow up tomorrow? Yes, this is the reality of it being an old car. But I'm willing to say that more than likely it's not. Like, I'm willing to do the maintenance myself. I'm willing to put new tires. I'm willing to make it as reliable as possible because I don't want to break down. I also don't want to sell this car to someone. So what I do is kind of a pro and a con, where you're buying a car from Nicholas, you're buying a car from WayBeforeTheFame, and you're buying a car from someone who's been driving it for the last couple of months, just took it on a road trip, you know, is showing everything. I don't have a reason to necessarily hide anything from someone, because the last thing that I want to do, whereas the con, is sell this car to John, and now he buys it and blows up tomorrow, and then he makes a YouTube video, you know, WayBeforeTheFame is a con artist, or he's a scammer, he sold me a lemon. It's like, I don't want that to happen to me either. So it's almost like I have to go above and beyond to make my cars better, because I don't want that negative criticism that can come from, you know, anything. I could sell this car and God forbid something happens, but it might go wrong. Any of the cars I buy, like, because I put my name behind it, I kind of have to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. But now that we're on the inside, let me show you guys what this looks like. So I got the door cards reupholstered to black. I'll see if I have any pictures or videos that look like before, but it was terrible. Both door cards along with the back all got done over in black. So that looks very clean. Speaking of clean, the car did get fully detailed by Teggy inside and out. Power windows and everything work. The switches, the faces are white for some reason, and you can see they're kind of faded, but you can see that that's clearly fog light. That's wiper, then that's rear defroster. We can pop the hood. It has 131,000 kilometers. One of the flaws, I guess you could say, is that my temperature sensor doesn't work. Apparently that's a very common issue on the Altos. It was one of the things that I was kind of worried about when I did my road trip, but after driving it in New York and around the city so much, I knew that it works. Like, obviously, like the sensor itself just keeps showing C, but the fan does turn on when the car gets too hot. So unlike this one, actually, where I have to fix the sensor, it does work. It's just not reading where it belongs to. AC works, heat works. We got ourselves a Toto double din that works, connects right away. And then we have a Hello Kitty ETC reader. That all works. This is good. That also works. Here's the glove box. Dash had some imperfections when I first got it. Cleaned up a bunch of it. I didn't even realize that. That probably comes off with some Goo Gone. But overall, I think, you know, POV, it's nice and black. I cleaned all this off. This also had a bunch of pink. Oh yeah, this is an imperfection, I guess. I would love to bring this just to get it redone in black, similar to how we did here. Or maybe even like a fancier color, but that's an imperfection. All this got cleaned off. All that got polished. You can see how shiny it is. Rear seats got cleaned. Seat belts and everything. Both these also work. This shock is a little blown. I think because it's warmer, it might actually stay up, or is it the opposite? I think, yeah, when it's cold, it stays up. So that's one flaw, you could say. I haven't really took the time to look into it. But back here, you do have a spare tire. And you have the beauty of this all being sound deadened. So I sound deadened from here to basically the two seats. So all of this has sound deadening under it. All of this, I think I even did under there. All of this has sound deadening, and it's actually really quiet in here. Everyone who's drove it, not only did I drive on a road trip, but I let so many people drive it just so they can also enjoy it. But all this has sound deadening. I got replacement taillights. We have new dress-up bolts everywhere, but we got replacement taillights and replacement bulbs. I also got an exhaust because the car came on no exhaust. Sounds really good. Also has upgraded shocks and springs too. Shout out to whoever had this car in Japan. Here's how it looks underneath. And then, like I said, this works. This also got wrapped. I'm thinking maybe the new person might change that. I'm honestly starting to like it. Like, not even out of laziness. I think it still kind of looks white. Like, right now it looks white. And then when it's darker, it matches with those wheels. So, I don't mind it. Show you guys the passenger side. Brand new door card. Does come with a flare. Does come with relatively new floor mats too. That also have some pink in them. That's just dirty for me driving. Seats have absolutely no rips, no tears, nothing like that. And then these pop open with no issue also. One of the cool things about the older Altos is that the windows are like that, and then the fact that these pop. Now let's pop the hood. Under here, very clean. Shout out to Teggy. Here's the VIN if you want to look anything up. But we got an HKS pod filter. Timing belt was done 12,000 kilometers ago. New plugs, new wires. Looks like a relatively new radiator. New Blitz radiator cap. New AGM battery. New Hella horn. New plastic weld. Shout out to Suzuki. New dress-up bolts everywhere. Try to make this as clean, as nice as possible. Also new alternator and AC belt. That got replaced. And then it doesn't have a blow-off valve. It's just blocked off. But it still sounds really good. And I guess we can start it up now. I would say mechanically it's pretty perfect. Give it a cold start. All the lights and everything light up. You can see the oil, batteries. So as you can see here, the maps and touchscreen, everything works. Shout out to everyone in Africa, Europe, South America. Now let's give it a start. While it warms up, let me show you guys some new parts that I bought for the Alto, which are included in the $7,000 price. So the car definitely needs new brakes, so I said why not just buy new rotors and pads. I'm also not a big fan of the metal shift knob. It's a weighted one and everything, so I got one from a newer Alto, and then I actually got one from a Honda Beat, a brand new Honda Beat one. I actually really like the Honda Beat shifter, so I'm probably gonna put this one and then just save this one for the stash. And then I also got this because the one in my car isn't as nice, and then I'm missing this just in general. So let's actually see how this looks. I believe it's gonna go some like this. Hold on, let me try to put this seat forward. I actually don't know how it goes. It's not for this car, I think it's for a servo. So I don't know. I figured it just went like over this. Maybe I need to take this off for it to work. Maybe this is what goes over that. Or maybe I'm just putting it too far back. Yeah, like I figured it would go like that. But then there's also no boot on this, which I'm just now realizing. So maybe this comes with the car, maybe it doesn't. But as you can see here, mine is a little scratched up. So I end up just getting a new one of both of those. I might just throw it in the stash. Let's see what the next person wants. So as you can see on this one, it's definitely a lot cleaner, a lot nicer, but it's also gray. And everything in my car is black. So I'm not sure if that's something I want to do. You could see this one was painted black. Just like my dash, just like my door cards and everything. So again, we might just leave this. I end up doing some DIY and having this shifter boot. Shout out to the homie Brandon. He gave me that boot and I made it fit flush. But yeah, this on very cold winter northeast days isn't ideal. So this is for sale if anybody wants it. It's a Razzo weighted shifter. Now let's see if this one fits nice and flush. Hey. Yeah, this is 100% my vibe. Perfect. Yeah. Oh, and also upgraded shifter bushing. Shout out to Dadbot Garage and Zookme. This is, again, nice and tight. It's not loose and flabby. You can see it kind of wants to stay where it belongs. Oh yeah, this feels 1000% better. Car's kind of warmed up now. Here's a look underneath the hood. That sound is just this. So if you could put this over, you could put it under. But I guess I'll put it over just so people don't think that there's a knocking sound anywhere. Give it some revs. Idle's back to where it belongs. Let's get inside. We're definitely gonna drive it in this video. Has little back pops. AC works. I'll turn it on so you can see the idle difference. That's with the compressor on. Blows cold. This is compressor off. You can see how on these K cars how much the idle changes. I don't know how I didn't speak about this earlier, because I know this is some people's favorite part about the car. So when I bought this back, wow, I turned it the wrong way. When I bought this car back in July, I bought this in person in Japan at the auction. When we got it to the yard, we realized that that side of the car was kind of droopy. So I end up, I'll show some footage on screen right now, but we end up like kind of jacking it up and realizing that some of the radiator support was cracked, I guess you could say. I can assume that there was maybe, I wouldn't say there was an accident though, because this looks perfect. So maybe, I don't know what happened exactly, but there was some sort of, I'm assuming collision, or maybe it just broke off, which was holding this on. So this was kind of moving all over the place. And since then, I paid to get it fixed in Japan. So it's really this right here. This, I'm going to see if I can find some other footage, but I just drove it on a 35-hour road trip. It didn't crack. It's been doing fine. It doesn't have to do with the structural rigidity. I've showed so many people this car. So many people have driven it. No one has been like, oh my God, it feels unsafe. So, you know, for what it's worth, if it wasn't for that, I'd probably list this car for even closer to like $9,000, because you can't find an Alto with really nice wheels, with history of maintenance, with new parts, with, you know, cool parts like the wheels, the HKS, the Blitz, a brand new battery, rear upholstered door cars, sound deadening, exhaust, radio, pink LEDs. You know, you can't find an Alto for all that for $7,000. I know it's front-wheel drive. I saw someone saying that in like the Facebook group that was a big flaw. To each his own. You don't really need all-wheel drive. If anything, it's going to slow it down. And then you have more things to worry about. But I guess you could say that's another one of the cons. But I guess now, the moment we've all been waiting for, let's take this on a nice drive. This car is an absolute rocket. From my understanding, it's a stock Alto, but it doesn't feel like a stock Alto. Like you guys seen, I've let so many people drive this car and they've all been mind blown. And someone like me who's driven, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50K cars and Altos at that, this still feels like one of the fastest ones, especially for it not having an N1, for it not having the HKS deleter, like the speed limiter deleter. This thing is quick. It could have Ford internals. It could have something crazy under the hood. From my understanding, it's a stock Alto, but you never know. Someone invested money getting this thing pink, making articles on it in Japan. So maybe this was once a track car or something like that. Now, let's drive the Suzuki Alto Works. I wish that I could keep it, man. Like, it's just like, you know, let's have a little, like, you know, before we even get on the highway, let's have a conversation really quickly. So ideally what's going to happen right now, I'll make separate videos on this, is that I'm most likely going to Japan for a year, starting March pretty much, right? Well, I'm going to come back to America maybe around the summertime, and then after that I'm going to go to Japan for a year. So realistically, I'm going to be in Japan from March 2025. to maybe like July 2026. So, you know, there's a lot of things I need to think about. It kind of sucks that I spent so much time, energy, money into that blue Mira. But just with the work visa, you know, I feel like where my channel is going, where my life is going, like I happen to be single with no kids, 33 years old. You know, I have a growing YouTube channel, but it's not enough to like buy a house. Like I can't buy, like it's not making me enough money to do anything really. Like I can't even just live off YouTube. Like I would be broke. Like I couldn't do that. I don't even make $1,000 a month on YouTube. So I just feel like right now is my calling to go to Japan, to grow the content, to grow the brand, to grow myself, to make more connections. Maybe I start doing containers there. I'm already gonna start becoming an exporter, so I'm gonna change my importing only to now exporting to you guys. So I just feel like, you know, the phone is calling. You know, the opportunity is calling for me to go to Japan right now. And as much as I wouldn't say don't want to go, because I really do want to do that road trip with the Mira walkthrough, I don't know if I can delay that phone call. But enough chit chat. I'm about to get on the highway. The car is straight. It's quiet. Right now I'm idling, chilling, just rolling. It's pretty comfortable too for being what it is. This shift knob though, man. It's like shift knob and shifting is such a big part of how I drive. It's just something you touch all the time. So having this brand new Alto one here, it's just makes me want to do that even more now. I just want to go through gears for no reason. Like go to fourth, go to fifth, downshift to second, go to third, go to fourth. I just want to touch it the entire time, but let's get on the highway. Now we're just gonna sit on some good old traffic. I hope this car does sell though. Like if it doesn't, I think that some more chit chat while we're in traffic is I think when I get to Japan, I definitely want to do a giveaway with some of the cars that are in Japan. And then I guess I might throw this car in there as well. That way, if someone wants the Amazon effect and they don't want to wait, you know, 2 months to get a car, one of the cars from the stock list, they can just take the Alto. Same thing, like free shipping and all that stuff. I put a poll on my Patreon. I'll talk about it more later, actually. But. So we're currently in third gear, 60 kilometers an hour, kind of cruising. This is how we're looking with our new shift knob. If I wanted to go faster, gets up there very quickly. I'll wait till I have some more space so I can go all the way to fifth, but it varies the speedo easily. I think it goes 140 kilometers around like 5,000 on the RPM. Easily, like easily at that. And these wheels are really lightweight too. Like a lot of people put bigger wheels, but these weigh nothing with the tires. To be honest, I don't know where this car ranks. That video is coming soon also, of cars that I've owned, but it has to be top 5. I would love to autocross this too. God. Talk about smiles per gallon, man. But yeah, I'm still in traffic, still just driving. I mean, the car's doing fine. I know last we left off, the idle was a little weird. But since then, I drove that car at 3 a.m., you guys remember. But this is me just rolling. Put into gear. No surging, no nothing. I think that, I saw some people saying I probably had water in my distributor. I would agree with you guys on that. It's a little high. Maybe I should drop it down to 1,000, but there's no crazy shakes. And then again, my temperature is just stuck on. Let me know in the comments too how you guys feel about this car, what you think it's worth. Like if you think it's worth like 5,000, you could say that. If you think it's worth 3,000, you could say that. Like I don't take offense in that. Like I said, it's the beauty of selling cars. Like there's sometimes where I see a car and I'm like, wow, that thing is worth 4,000, and someone sells it for 10, and I'm like, wow, you know, I didn't see the value in that car. And for me, like I said, I think if you go on Facebook Marketplace right now and you put Suzuki Alto Works, I think for 7,000, this is one of the cheapest cars, like the cheapest Alto Works in America. Like easily one of the cheapest ones that are stick shift. Like of course you can get an automatic one, but like, you know, most people don't want automatic ones. So even it being front wheel drive, 5-speed, you know, the quote unquote issue it has on that side, I think 7,000 is still a bargain for a reliable, cool looking, at least in my opinion, expensive wheel, LED everywhere, you know, blow off valve, quick, Alto works. I think 7 is a bargain, honestly. All right, so here's how we're looking, top speed wise. Currently in 2nd gear. I'll do top speed and just like driving normally. So realistically, let me speed up. Realistically, you're going to be, I'm in 4th gear right now. Most of your travels, like when I was doing my road trip, this is 5th gear. Let me go to 62 miles per hour. It's gonna consist of this. So you're about 4,000 on the RPM, you know, cruising. Now, for me to vary the speedo, this is foot all the way down. We're currently in Mexico. Damn, I actually don't have enough space. Not sure if that's necessarily the solution, but we do have the ponies. This is also me going uphill at that. Then we have fuel cut, sadly. Now, before we end this video, let's do one last 360 in the sun. Get a better look at the pink wheels on this side. Such a good car, man. Like, I'm speechless. Like, I don't think I need to sell anyone on this, honestly. It's like you're either into it or you're not into it. Like, you either think the paint is a piece of crap and, you know, it should get wrapped, or why would anyone buy a pink car? Or you're like, I understand. But I'm in this video here. Drive back home, post this up. Currently edit this on Saturday. I'm gonna post it on Saturday. Thank you guys for watching. Road to 100K. Peace.
Remember the name. This is way before the fame.